everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So I want to talk to you guys about something really important today, something that's not being talked about a lot, but I think it could end up getting a lot of people in trouble if they don't know about it. So we're going to be talking about the ATF's final rule on braces, but we're not going to be talking about braces, believe it or not. So I was reading the ATF's final rule, going over some sections that I'd previously skipped, and I found something that is really concerning. Did you know that your simple buffer tube, right, just the buffer tube with nothing attached, could still make your pistol into an SBR, and therefore it would fall under the NFA, under the ATF's final rule here? What about just a simple folding adapter with no tube attached to it whatsoever? It's just the adapter. Did you know that that could make your pistol fall under the NFA? These are things that are actually in here, and we're going to talk about those today, and I'll explain to you exactly what's going on, so stay tuned. Now, before we get started, I just want to say thank you all very much for watching this video. This is a very important topic and a very important video where people may not even know that they could potentially get in trouble. So please share this video, like the video, let people know who may be affected by it, what's going on here. So share the knowledge, share the information, and let people know so that they don't get the one up on us. Because again, it's like right in the middle. It's just a small section, and this section is extremely important. Also, check out the main sponsor of this channel, which is the USCCA, link down below. Absolutely the best membership that you could ever have. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. Let's get to it. So I'll summarize this for you, and then I'll read it directly from the final rule so you guys know exactly how they worded it. But basically what the ATF is saying is they're saying that anything that is attached to the rear of the firearm that could increase its length and therefore make it shoulderable, if it's not actually necessary to the overall function of that firearm, it will be considered a shouldering device. So if you have something that doesn't require a buffer tube, right? The buffer tube is there so that you can add things to the back of it, braces, stocks, whatever you want. If it's there for that, but it doesn't serve any internal function, there's no movement of the spring or anything like that, that will be considered a shouldering device because it increases the rear surface area and brings it back towards somebody's shoulder. Now, how does that apply to, just the adapters, right? Because they even say specifically in here that folding adapters will be considered the same as a buffer tube. Well, basically what they're saying is that extension, right? That folding extension that allows for the insertion of a buffer tube that's not necessary to the overall function is also going to be considered a shouldering device because, well, one, it extends even if just a little bit from the rear of the firearm, and they say that it creates extra surface. Also, it's readily convertible to accept something that can also be attached to the back. So that means that would also be part of their criteria for considering whether or not it falls under the NFA. So it's just a complete mess. Obviously, there's a lot more to it here, and that'll give you a better explanation, but I just wanted to summarize to you that if you have something that has a brace on it, you take the brace off and you think, I'm good to go, right? You might not be. If it's not part of the overall function, then that has to go too, or they're going to consider it a shouldering device, a simple buffer tube. I kid you not. Okay, so now I'm going to read directly from the ATF's final rule so you guys have a better understanding of exactly what they're expecting here and what's going on. It's just absolutely mind-numbing and mind-blowing. But this is going to start on page 163, and they basically start off by saying, if an attachment like a buffer tube is part of the overall necessary function of the arm, then it's considered not a shouldering device, and so you don't have to worry about it. They're trying to contrast what is and what isn't here. So it starts off by saying one objective design feature ATF may consider is whether the attachment is required for the cycle of operations, which could indicate that it is not designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder. For example, an AR pistol with a standard 6.5-inch buffer tube may not be designed, made, and intended to be fired from the shoulder, even if the buffer tube provides surface area that allows the firearm to be shouldered. On an AR-type pistol, the buffer tube encases a spring and explains to you exactly how it works. We all kind of get that. And there's some pictures down below that show the, the buffer tube and how it's necessary to the overall operation and kind of how that functions and so forth. Basically giving you examples of what they would be, considered to be okay. But then that's where it starts to change. That's when things start to change, and this is where it could definitely affect you, because we know that not everything needs a buffer tube, but a lot of stuff has a buffer tube. So in contrast, if the buffer tube, receiver extension, or other component is not required for the cycle of operations, the ATF may conclude it serves no purpose but to extend the rear surface area. And provide a surface area for shouldering to increase the overall length of pull, which in turn provides a better aim point and horizontal stabilization. So you can see right there, they basically say that if the tube is there and it's an unnecessary part and it extends out some type of rearward surface area, then it's going to be considered just like the brace itself. And so they're saying that that's going to make it an NFA item. And now we get into where it says just the simple addition of something rearward, okay, just like an adapter, a folding adapter or something like that, could also constitute an SBR. So we have to read this because it goes way past braces here. So do you remember when the ATF had their comment period on the proposed rule? People could comment about it and, give their advice and opinion and things like that. Well, apparently people brought up these adapters and the ATF had to acknowledge that. And it's in this acknowledgement right here where they say that pretty much anything that you add to the rear as an accessory could be considered the same as a brace and make that item fall under the NFA. So let me read this real quick. The department also acknowledges but disagrees with the commenters that did not believe that folding adapters should be considered because the purpose of the folding adapter is to fold out of the way the brace or stock. As discussed, the addition of an accessory, they don't say the adapter, they say an accessory. As discussed, the addition of an accessory to the rear of the firearm can also add material that provides surface area for shouldering and can extend the length of pull to effectuate shoulder fire. For these reasons, the department disagrees with these commenters and maintains that these types of rearward attachments, like the folding adapter in the picture below, are additional material that, when added to the end, may indicate that it is designed, made, or intended to be fired from the shoulder. So just having that adapter on there or something rearward that increases surface area or allows for the addition of something else, just that alone, without the addition of that something else, would also be the same as having a brace on it and make it fall under the NFA. And that's straight from the final rule. So the purpose of my videos is always just to educate, to tell you guys what's there so that you're aware. Just being aware of something could be the difference between everything being fine and everything not being okay. You decide what to do for yourself. That's up to you. Again, I'm just providing the information. You do with it what you please. But this is the information that is in the final rule. Then I think it's a very important part of information that needs to be shared. So if you know somebody, share this video, let them know about it so that this is spread as far as possible. But I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do hope that, we get an injunction here, this gets stopped, and, eventually just, disappears altogether. And I know that lawsuits are going to be in the works to do that because, again, something like this to me seems just blatantly in your face unconstitutional. But this is what they're going with for now. So we need to fight this in the court. And again, now you guys know, so you're better informed. I want to thank you all very much for watching again. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.